The oldest tradition of the Olympic Games is the lighting of the torch. The second oldest tradition is sucking up to Russia, and the newly installed president of the International Olympic Committee did just that when she banned a Ukrainian athlete. Yes, that's right, Russia is banned from the Olympics for invading Ukraine, but a Ukrainian athlete was banned. I'm going to show video breaking down this overtly political decision, and you are going to want to see it, because at the base of this story, you'll find none other than Donald Trump. Who else? So hit that subscribe button so we can continue to bring you the kind of media content and analysis that corporate media is too busy watching ice dancing to bring you. These Olympics held in northern Italy have become the most political Olympics in decades, not just because of Russia. Outside the games, the Italians have been vehemently protesting, engaging with riot police over the government allowing ICE agents from the U.S. to be deployed in Italy. And when the Italians protest, they don't mess around. This policeman was discovered eating Domino's pizza. Ouch.
I am both American and Italian, and I certainly did not move to Italy to get ICE agents here.
But the political protests have not been limited to outside the venues. Inside, American athletes have been speaking out against Trump, against ICE, and against the direction of where this country is headed.
It's been a hard time for the community overall under this administration. It isn't the first time that we've had to come together as a community and try and fight for our human rights. And now, especially, it's not just affecting the queer community, but many other communities. And I think that we are able to support each other in a way that we didn't have to before.
I feel heartbroken about what's happened in the United States when, I'm pretty sure you're referencing ICE and some of the protests and things like that. I think that as a country, we need to focus on respecting everybody's rights.
Now, naturally, that freaked out conservatives back in the U.S., but who really cares? But if U.S. athletes are under the spotlight because of Trump, Ukrainian athletes are under the spotlight because of Putin and his war against Ukraine. Hundreds of Ukrainian Olympic athletes have been killed in the war, and Ukrainian athlete Vladislav Haraskevich, a skeleton racer, chose to honor some of those athletes by putting their images on his helmet. And I know what you're asking. Why do they call that sled a skeleton? Well, the answer is obvious. You wipe out on that bad boy, and all that's going to be left is your skeleton. But kowtowing IOC President Kirsty Coventry ruled that those images were political and turned a harmless memorial into an outrageous decision. Watch.
The very latest breaking news that we're just getting in now, it's about the Olympics, because the Ukrainian skeleton racer who wore a helmet featuring athletes who have died during the war in Ukraine has been disqualified. He's been chucked out of the games. So this is Vladislav Haraskevich. He was the nation's flag bearer at the opening ceremony last week, and he's been training in that helmet you can see on your screens now on Monday, saying some of the people pictured were his friends.
People feel in Ukraine sometimes to be forgotten, and it's important to remind the world what happens now in Ukraine.
Well, Haraskevich is still explaining his case to journalists here in Cortina. He spoke very well, spoke very powerfully in English, answered questions about why he wears the helmet. He explained all the athletes on the helmet.
I also want to remind everyone that it's like 20 people, 24 people here. But it's in total, it's more than 500 others who were killed.
Some incredible stories, some very sad stories. He made the point that Russian flags have been seen here. He feels very strongly about that, and that we shouldn't buy Russian propaganda.
That helmet. In a statement, the IOC said that the helmet violated Olympic charter rules requiring neutrality of competition equipment. They did add that they made that decision in regret, saying they offered alternatives to Haraskevich, including wearing a black armband or speaking out on social media or in press conferences. But Haraskevich has said that he didn't go looking for a scandal with the IOC, that he believes his helmet is not in violation of that rule. Ukraine's president has even spoken out supporting Haraskevich as well. But this is a huge blow for the Ukrainian team. Haraskevich was a flag bearer in Milan during the opening ceremonies for these games, and he was expected to
Now keep in mind here that Haraskevich can't compete, but Russian athletes who are supposed to be banned are competing. Because somehow, when you ban Russia from competing, you can then say, but some of you Russian athletes can compete as independents. Yeah, that's not political. And it's precisely decisions like this that show how mercilessly corrupt the IOC is. Look, there's a reason why the official motto of the NCAA is, "Thank God for FIFA and the IOC." Haraskevich may not have won the gold, but President Zelensky awarded him with the Order of Freedom. Still, the fact remains, if Trump were not such a Putin lapdog and had ended this war by standing with Europe and kicking Putin out of Ukraine, would the helmet still be seen as overtly political or as a memorial? Well, congratulations, Mango Mussolini. You just screwed Ukraine again. I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. You'll not only help out our channel, you'll be taking concrete action and helping get rid of Trump and the MAGA movement who ushered him in.